Hello, everyone. My name is Twila Walkeden, and I'm the Executive Director of the Weyburn Chamber of Commerce. And today we have another edition of our Chamber Head-to-Head. This is a sequence of videos that we're putting together for our members and the general public in order to allow us to thrive and survive this COVID-19 pandemic. So today we are so pleased to have a special guest with us. We have Larissa Smeltzer. She is a counselor with Envision Counselling Support Centre. Today, Larissa is coming to us from Estevan over Zoom, but I know she provides counseling services in Weyburn, Estevan, and Oxbow. So thank you very much, Larissa, for being with us today.
No worries, Twila. Thank you for having me and reaching out. I appreciate it.
Now, I understand in 2019, Envision celebrated a really important milestone of 25 years supporting Southeastern Saskatchewan. And I know that you guys provide such important services to our communities in the Southeast. So I want to give you an opportunity just to provide an overview of what Envision provides in terms of services.
For sure. So I'll kind of talk about the different types of programming that we have. So we're, Envision Counselling and Support Centre. So I'll start off with the counseling piece. So we have grown a lot in terms of counseling, especially within the last year, which is so awesome. Because now we have walk-in counseling, which I'm very passionate about. Naturally, that's my role, so I'm a little biased there. But so our main ongoing counseling, we have our family intervention program, which is just through that program we see family counseling, right? Couples counseling, dealing with co-parenting, separation, divorce, stuff like that. It can be also wanting to work on the relationship in terms of couples counseling, wanting to work on family dynamics in terms of family counseling. So that is a very cool, and we're very lucky to be providing that, I feel. So we have that. That's one of our main counseling programs. And then on the flip side of that, we have our other main counseling program, which is the interpersonal violence and abuse program. And that's basically for anyone who's injured or might have a loved one who's injured any type of interpersonal violence. So that can be sexual assault, abuse, whether that's childhood abuse, whether that's partner abuse, right? So anything that involves interpersonal violence. So those are kind of our core main counseling programs. And then this year, we've been very fortunate to add in walk-in counseling. So that's what I do. So I provide kind of brief solution-focused sessions. So it's kind of like, what are we talking about today, and what's a solution that we might be able to come to by the end of the session? So what I like about walk-in is there's no mandates. So that means that anyone can access walk-in. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm available to talk. So it can be mental health, it can be addictions, it can be relationship issues, it can be family stuff, it can be stress at work, it can be just it's a bad day and I just need someone to talk to. So I really love walk-in for that reason. And then on top of that, we've added in employment assistance program, or fee-for-service. So that's an option, and that's been helpful too, because we recognize as Envision, like we've recognized for a while, that there's constraints around 8:30 to 5, right? So it's nice to be able to offer EAP or FFS after hours. So that's a cool thing too. So overall, for counseling, we have the family counseling, right? The FIP program, and then we have the interpersonal violence abuse, so that's IVA. Then we have walk-in, which is me, and then we have EAP or fee-for-service. So that can happen, like we have master level counselors for that, and they're contracted out, so it's really cool that way. And it can help with, because IVA and FIP are mandated, so it can help fill in the cracks there. So I like that too. And again, with the EAP and fee-for-service, it can be addiction, it can be mental health, it can be relationship issues, it can be anything. So we're opening the door.
What a vast array of services. That's so impressive. So when you say walk-in, what comes to mind now with the COVID-19 and the social distancing that all of us have on the top of our mind, So your services must have had to pivot a little bit with respect to, some of your walk-in clients, you might say, and even some of your regular clients. Tell me how you've been able to adjust.
For sure. So, actually, the other thing I really love about walk-in, it's very adaptable and it's a flexible program, right? Because it can change and pivot no matter what the circumstances. So what we've done to adjust is, for everyone's safety with social distancing and self-isolation, is we've moved for ongoing. We've moved all our sessions onto phone or Zoom, and but with a very high level confidentiality Zoom program. And then for me, all my sessions right now, it's moved from walk-in to call-in. So everything is by phone now,
Yeah.
which is nice. Because the other part of Envision is we have a family support program, which has been put on a little bit of a hold just because that's more so supporting families in their home. So that's been a little bit different, right? Our counseling programs are kind of as is through the phone or through Zoom.
Yeah.
But that program has been operating a little bit differently. And then we do have an outreach. We have 2 outreach workers who go into the schools to do programming that way, like to do different presentations for classrooms, kind of just psychoeducational presentations about relationships and different things like that. So obviously those 2 programs have taken more of a hit, I would say, as opposed to the counseling.
So can you say that because of COVID-19, you've seen some impact and some differences in the amount of services or the different types of services to provide? I know with many of our chamber business members, there's been so many unfortunate changes, whether there's been layoffs or, just with individuals having to spend more time isolated and, at home with their children and coping with all sorts of uncertainties. I can't imagine some of the challenges that many people are facing right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it is hard. Like we suspected, and for some counselors they've been a bit slower because people are just trying to manage what's going on too, right? So we totally respect that. I actually had an opportunity. We connected, all of us counselors connected yesterday on Zoom. So I asked my team, I said, hey, how do you feel COVID-19 has been impacting the communities? Because I can speak to Estevan, but I have counselors that can speak to Weyburn, to Radville, to, we're from all over. So it's cool that way. Positively, I think there's a lot of resiliency that we're seeing because some people have slowed down, right? So that shows a lot of resiliency. We see a lot of people connecting more. So families connecting more, community connecting more. So I think across the board, a lot of the towns or small cities in our area are doing a lot of the Heart in the Window campaign. So that's putting hearts up to know that we care, we're here. Easter egg hunt. The counselor from Oxbow said that they're doing a Easter egg hunt, so people are putting Easter eggs in their windows, and then the kids can go around and find all these Easter eggs. So that's cool. I know my sister lives in Weyburn, so my nieces did a shamrock hunt. So like those are the cool things to see. But for sure, right now, for anyone who's battling like especially anxiety and depression, right? Because isolating is hard on our mood, and uncertainty is hard on worry. So you can definitely see that some of that is starting to heighten a little bit.
Yeah. So if you had 1 or 2 or maybe 3 different coping strategies that you would be able to advise people, just generally, whether they've, either lost their jobs or they're going through some stresses in their marriage because of that, or, the children, what might be your top 3 coping mechanisms?
For sure. I love it. So if I can give top 3, one of the big ones is especially around the worry and the stress, because there's already the stress, right? With oil being down too in our area, that's a hard thing too. And the layoffs that are happening, there's always a lot of stress. So trying to limit what stress we're allowing in, so we can control how much news we intake, right? So, or social media, looking at if there's things that are adding more stress on, trying to see what is in our control to take off. So I would recommend limiting the amount of news you're watching. Also limiting amount of social media or websites you're going on to research COVID-19. And following that, focusing on the present moment as much as you can, right? So we're talking about grounding in that sense. Grounding and mindfulness can be helpful to lessen that intense, like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, right? So I would recommend just trying to be as present in the moment as you can. And then with that being said, the third thing would be self-compassion. So there's going to be days where being present is hard. There's going to be days where being, happy with our families is hard. There's going to be days where being happy with our spouse is going to be very difficult. So understanding that those days are going to happen and that's okay. And then having that self-compassion that we are all just doing the best we can during this time.
Man, I think no wiser words have been spoken. That is fantastic. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, Larissa. Thank you again for your time. I think that everyone out there can take a lot of meaning from what Larissa has just said. There again, we want to make sure everybody knows about Envision services, what an important role that they're playing in our communities in the southeastern Saskatchewan. And of course, it's a time in which we never thought we would see this pandemic. And we don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know how many people it's going to impact. But we do know with services like what you're providing, we're all going to come out as healthy individuals, from a mental standpoint. So thank you again. We really appreciate your time. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll have more head-to-head videos coming up. Certainly, if you have any input on what you would like to see us chatting about, bringing together some local experts, please throw it our way. Give the office a call. We're still not physically open, but we're answering the phone calls, 306-842-4738. Thank you so much and have a great day, everyone.